Yo, what is up, fam? It's your boy Legend, and I am back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. What if Naruto and Sasuke was sent to the Highschool DxD universe? Season 2, Part 3. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. The like goal for this video was going to be 7 likes. If we could get more, that would be extremely nice. But without further ado, let's just get into the intro so we can start this what if. The body of the last devil crumpled to the dirt with a heavy, lifeless thud. Its scorched armor cracked as it hit the ground, sending a faint trail of smoke into the cool evening air. Naruto exhaled and brushed his palms together, dusting off the remnants of battle. His golden hair, damp with sweat, clung lightly to his forehead, but his expression showed neither fatigue nor excitement, only calm efficiency. To him, this skirmish was nothing more than another task, another problem to be solved quickly before he could spread. The surrounding trees, scared by stray bursts of demonic energy, stood silent now. The atmosphere shifted with the death of the last stray. The oppressive aura that had hung around the area lifted, replaced by the faint hum of yokai, energies rebalancing themselves. "Wow," came a silky voice from behind, breaking the silence. "You really swiftly dealt with them. It makes me wonder, what else can you do?" Kuroka's playful tone was unmistakable. She stepped forward with the grace of a cat, her golden eyes glinting mischievously in the dim light. Without hesitation, she slipped herself against his side, pressing her generous bosom against his arm, trapping it in the softness of her curves. Her long black hair brushed across his shoulder as she leaned into him with a teasing smile. Naruto's blue eyes flicked toward her a brief moment, unreadable, before he gently pushed his arm free. His touch wasn't rough or dismissive, just firm enough to make his boundaries clear. Without a word, he turned and began walking back toward the glowing torii gate that marked the entrance of the yokai's territory. Kuroka tilted her head, lips curling into a pout, though it was more playful than sincere. Of course, he wouldn't fall for that so easily. Still, she followed. Her feet barely made a sound against the dirt path, her tail swaying lazily behind her, as if she had all day and all the time in the world. The journey into the yokai territory was quiet, except for the rustle of the wind through the trees. Lanterns lit along the perimeter bathed the path in warm orange hues, contrasting the lingering darkness of the battle Naruto had just ended. When the two of them passed through the gates, the scenery changed dramatically. The courtyard of the yokai palace spread out before them in elegant harmony. It was alive with yokai of all shapes and sizes, going about their nightly routines. Kitsune with flowing white tails walked gracefully in pairs, nodding respectfully when they noticed Naruto. Smaller spirits, resembling living wisps of flame, floated through the air, their soft glow adding to the atmosphere. A pair of oni stared in the far corner, their roars echoing faintly, while tanuki merchants haggled over supplies near the garden walls. Naruto's presence did not go unnoticed. Whispers rippled through the crowd, yokai turning curious eyes toward him. Though a stranger, he walked with a composure that demanded attention, his aura radiating quiet strength. And then there was Kuroka, trailing just a step behind him. Without turning his head, his voice came evenly, his tone carrying no irritation, just a direct question. Is there a reason you decided to come here with me? Kuroka met his calm stare with an unbothered smile, her feline pupils narrowing ever so slightly in the lantern light. Would you believe me if I said it's because these are my people? For a moment, their gazes locked. Kuroka's eyes sparkled with playful deceit, daring him to call her bluff. Naruto, however, didn't bite. He turned away just as quickly, stepping forward once more, his sandals clicking softly against the polished stones. No, he said simply, not really. Her laugh was low, sultry, and unrestrained. I figured as much. She followed after him anyway, her two tails swishing like a satisfied predator stalking prey. And so the two walked deeper into the heart of the yokai's domain, one with purpose, the other with a secret amusement. Only she seemed to understand. When Naruto walked into Yasaka's palace, two of her guards escorted both him and Kuroka to her meeting room. Meanwhile, with Sasuke used his Rinnegan to open a portal as he walked through it and came out in Tsubaki's home. The portal closed behind him as he wrapped his only arm around her waist. So, what are we going to do? I'm not good at planning dates. The warmth of the late afternoon sun painted the streets of Kuo in shades of gold as Tsubaki quietly reached for Sasuke's right hand. Her fingers were delicate, slender, but her grip was firm, almost as if she feared he might slip away if she didn't hold on tightly. She looked up at him, her dark hair falling across her cheek, and her lips curved into a hopeful smile. Let's just go out and do something simple, she said softly, her voice a mixture of nervousness and anticipation. Sasuke, silent as ever, lowered his gaze to their joined hands. He could feel the faint warmth of her skin against his own, a grounding sensation he hadn't realized he needed. Slowly, he gave her hand a light squeeze, a silent agreement. Tsubaki's smile widened, the tension in her shoulders melting away. With her hand still laced through his, the two of them walked together out of the house. Their steps were quiet, but there was a subtle rhythm to them, unspoken and natural. Sasuke rarely indulged in moments like this, but there was something about Tsubaki's sincerity that disarmed him. For once, he allowed himself to walk alongside someone without the weight of duty pressing down on him. Meanwhile, back inside Naruto's and Sasuke's house, the air was far more lively. Raynare and Kalawarner had claimed the couch in the living room, the television humming softly in the background, though it was mostly ignored. A half-empty bowl of popcorn sat forgotten on a coffee table as the two fallen angels giggled like old friends sharing secrets. Raynare was the first to break into the conversation again, brushing her long raven black hair over her shoulder. With the mischievous glint in her eye, she spoke. So, she said, drawing out the word as if savoring it. You two finally hooked up and made it official. How was it? Kalawarner, lounging back against the cushions, pulled her knees up against her ample chest. A faint blush crept across her cheeks as she smirked, unable to hide her satisfaction. He was a virgin, she admitted with a small laugh, but it was still amazing. Raynare burst into laughter, leaning forward and slapping Kalawarner's thigh playfully. Yeah, no shit. Naruto was also a virgin when I first had sex with him. He told me shinobi usually didn't have time for relationships. Something about how most didn't settle down until retirement. She rolled her eyes dramatically, though there was warmth in her tone. Can you imagine waiting that long? Kalawarner smiled knowingly, her voice dropping as if confessing a private secret. Yeah, I figured as much. Sasuke said something similar. And well, I found out he was a virgin fast as well. Raynare arched an eyebrow, curiosity sparking in her eyes. Oh, really? Explain that. Kalawarner scooted closer, lowering her voice, a mischievous smirk tugging at her lips. Well, you know when it's a virgin's first time feeling something? Raynare's eyes widened with realization, and a mischievous grin spread across her face. Oh, so you two started and... Kalawarner nodded, her smirk deepening. Both women dissolved into giggles, leaning into each other like schoolgirls sharing gossip. Their laughter echoed lightly through the house, careless and warm, as if nothing in the world could touch them in that moment. But outside, the world was already moving against them. High above the house, wings, black as night, stretched wide against the golden sky. A shadow lingered there, hovering silently. His gaze was cold, predatory, and filled with malice as he looked down upon the simple residents. Kokabiel. The 10-winged fallen angel narrowed his eyes, the faintest of cruel smiles carving across his lips as he listened to the faint sound of laughter drifting up from within. His presence radiated menace, a suffocating aura that seemed to make even the air tremble around him. So this is where the two of you have been hiding, he muttered darkly to himself, his voice gravelly, laced with amusement. A low, menacing chuckle followed. How precious, playing house, while the rest of us wage war. You really thought you could escape me? He tilted his head, eyes gleaming with a sadistic joy. How naive. With the sudden beat of his wings, Kokabiel descended, his form a streak of black and silver against the sky. In the next instant, the tranquility of the house was shattered. The front door exploded inward in a spray of splintered wood, the force rattling the walls as if struck by a storm. Raynare and Kalawarner shot to their feet in shock, their wings half unfurling instinctively. Their laughter died on their lips, replaced by wide-eyed horror as they stared at the figure stepping through the ruined door. Kokabiel. His presence was overwhelming, a suffocating pressure that pressed down on them like a mountain. His crimson eyes glowed with malice as he surveyed them, his smile sharp and cruel. Well, well, he sneered, his voice echoing with mockery. The two of you thought you could hide forever. How utterly pathetic. Raynare's breath caught in her throat, her body frozen. Kalawarner instinctively stepped in front of her, her hands trembling but her stance defiant. Kokabiel, she whispered, dread dripping from her voice. In the blink of an eye, he was upon them. His hand shot out cruelly, tangling in their hair, yanking their heads back with vicious force. Both women cried out in pain, their hands clawing at his grip, wings beating in frantic resistance. You thought you could escape me? Kokabiel roared with laughter, the sound booming like thunder through the small home. No one defies me and walks free. With that, he surged upward, wings beating powerfully as he dragged them with him. The shattered remnants of the door frame splintered further under the gusts. Papers and trinkets scattered like leaves in a storm. Raynare and Kalawarner screamed, their voices piercing the sky as Kokabiel ascended, hauling them mercilessly by their hair. Their wings flailed, their bodies writhed in desperation, but His grip was unyielding, his laughter echoing cruelly above the town. Below, the house stood broken and silent, its peaceful atmosphere shattered. The two fallen angels had been taken, their freedom ripped away in an instant. And somewhere nearby, oblivious for now, Sasuke and Tsubaki walked hand in hand, unaware of the storm that had just been unleashed. Meanwhile, with Naruto was on his way back home, and Kuroka was still attached to his arm. As Naruto pushed her off and spoke, "So, let me get this right. You used to be the rook of a high-ranking devil who liked to do experiments on his peerage." Kuroka nodded as Naruto continued. "And you only joined this man's peerage because it allowed you to protect your kid's sister?" Kuroka nodded once more, and Naruto spoke again. "But then he wanted to try and experiment on your sister, so you killed him." Kuroka looked away and bit her bottom lip, trying to keep the tears from falling. "Yes, that's the gist of it, without all the details." Naruto went to speak, but before he could get the words out, he froze. His eyes were on the front door of his house, which was destroyed. Naruto slowly walked up to the door before he entered his house, and he took in the scene. The place was a mess. The couch was flipped, the TV broken. There was shattered glass on the floor, and there were black feathers all over the living room. Naruto didn't know what had happened, but there was one thing on his mind: Ray. Naruto walked around the house as Kuroka stepped in behind him. Confused as to what was happening, Naruto started checking all the rooms, looking for both Raynare and Kalawarner. "Ray! Kalawarner! Damn it! Where the hell are they?" Naruto then ran out of the bedroom and back into the living room, frantic. "Damn it! Where are they?" Naruto blew straight past Kuroka, knocking her over. Kuroka stumbled trying to get her footing, but failed and ended up on her ass. "Hey, watch it! It's not that serious." Hearing this made Naruto freeze as he turned around, his eyes full of fury. What? What did you just say? What do you mean? It's not that serious. Why are you even here? As Naruto spoke, his eyes flickered between blue and crimson. His whisker marks became thicker and more pronounced, and his nails started to extend into claws. Kuroka scooted back from Naruto out of fear. Naruto, just calm down. Naruto gritted his teeth. Calm down? My girlfriend, my queen, the woman who would have been my future wife, along with her best friend, were obviously abducted, and you want me to just calm down? As Naruto spoke the last portion of the sentence, he accidentally transformed going into the KCM, releasing a large burst of power that was felt throughout the entire dimension. Meanwhile, with Raynare and Kalawarner were tied to a chair somewhere underground in a dimly lit place. They were covered in bruises and lacerations, and Kalawarner had a hardened feather sticking out of her thigh. Raynare had the word traitor carved into her back, as Kokabiel had both of them tied up, naked. Kokabiel, however, stepped away from them as he felt a strange, overwhelming surge of power that made him want to vomit as he fell to his hands and knees. Kokabiel started to hyperventilate, and his right-hand man, Valper, seemed to be having a panic attack from the amount of power that was pushing down on him. What What the hell was that? Kokabiel slowly stood back up, trying to regain his bearings. He then heard a slow laughter, a weak laughter, but slowly gaining strength and volume. What the hell is so funny, Kalawarner? Kalawarner slowly stifled her laughter as she looked up at Kokabiel. You have no idea, do you? Kalawarner chuckled. Well, let me inform you, since you didn't do your research. That power surge you just felt, well, that was Raynare's boyfriend. That means the metaphorical timer on your life has started. Kalawarner then gasped and instinctively went to hold her ribs, feeling a stabbing pain in her lungs. However, she couldn't because she was tied up, but she continued to talk since Raynare was unconscious from having the word traitor carved into her back. Here's what makes things funny, and in your case, from bad to worse. Her boyfriend, who is the strongest guy in the dimension, is the best friend of my boyfriend, who is the second strongest guy in the dimension. And we all live in the same house together. And there's only a matter of time before you have two pissed off titans breathing down your neck, all because you didn't want to let us go. Kokabiel growled as he extended one of his wings toward Kalawarner, causing 3 of his feathers to shoot out towards her and embed into her chest. Shut the fuck up, you idiotic bitch. That just means I'll have to expedite my plans. Kokabiel then straightened his black blazer that he wore open. And besides, I still have the 2 of you. That alone will help me complete my plans. Because if they choose not to play by my game, if they want to ensure you two stay safe, then they would know not to fuck with me until I get what I want. Before Kalawarner could speak, they all felt another monstrous spike of power. However, this one was much darker. It had much more hate attached to it. It was so powerful and so overwhelming that it forced Raynare to wake up with a gasp. Once again, Kokabiel was forced down to his knees and Valper was now puking. Kalawarner smiled at the 2 of them and spoke with a strained voice. And that was my boyfriend. And I'm guessing that he just found out what happened. And I know he isn't happy. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe while you're at it. Remember, the like goal for the video is going to be 7 likes. But without further ado, I am out and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed, y'all.